May your heart be your guiding key.
How's it going, everyone? It's me, Vivi, and welcome to another Jak and Daxter video. You've probably heard of a game called Dreams, a game which allows people to completely go wild with imagination. There's so many fantastic fan recreations you can stumble upon, and one that managed to capture my eye recently is this one. Completely remade using Dreams, Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy Sandover Village. Dreams really allows anyone to recreate whatever they want. The game is built around using tools that almost mimic actual tools game developers use. Dreams is that crazy. This fan recreation was done by dazzling Dazza D64. I managed to find a small clip of his project on Twitter, and I was like, whoa. Anytime I see a game I wish had a remake actually get imagined like this by a fan, it's a great feeling. I reached out to Dazza, and I'd like to thank him again for allowing me to share this with all of you. First and foremost, when looking at a remake imagined this way, in Dreams especially, you can't help but wonder, what inspired Dazza? Speaking to him, he explained that this project was purely out of passion. Going off his exact words, this is trying to replicate a direct one-to-one remake of the original. He also added the following: I would probably say it's because I have quite a heart and passion for living the franchise, since believe it or not, I am one of those people who wants to see these boys get the remake treatment like Crash and Spyro have, and I think these boys deserve to have some sort of revival, be it a new game, remake, reimagining, etc. I'm going to have to agree with what was stated here. I too would love Jak and Daxter to at least get a remake treatment or even a reimagining, or call it a reboot. I wouldn't mind it at all. Seeing Spyro and Crash get remakes and a brand new sequel, thinking of Crash 4 especially. By the way, speaking of Crash 4, the game is now available. I got the chance to play it this week and it's fantastic. I really do hope you enjoy the game if you're planning on picking it up. So back to the point. If Sony finds the perfect passionate team for Jak and Daxter, it could happen. Why would Sony say no to someone approaching them, especially a AAA team? It all comes down to having the team for it, and Sony approving them. Now looking at the gameplay, you can notice how much more open space it is, especially Samus's hut and Kira's area where the zoomer usually sits. And what I already love about this imagined remake on Dreams, the freedom of mobility. The camera is what I'm referring to. You can easily walk in, rotate the camera around, see every nook and cranny of the hut. In the original, the camera would lock itself in place until you would exit the hut. Camera movement was basically restricted, at least in the hut area. Now looking at this, it's much more lush with vegetation, and this reminds me of Bob Rafei's concept of the hut. How it originally had more plants, looked fuller. In Dreams, you can even see how there's some extra purple plants lying around. Now the major difference, apart from the camera controls, is of course the ceiling I've noticed. You might wonder, why is the ceiling so different? I'm going to base my thoughts on the complexity of Dreams. Although Dreams is geared more towards the consumer, it can be extremely time-consuming. Dazza explained that this project was split in two parts. Number 1, the planning stage, thinking of what assets will be used to bring this to life. According to him, just planning that took him 4 hours. Number 2, the process of creating the whole thing, of course, which easily took more than 40 hours. Placing and planning everything is one of the biggest challenges when looking at this. It involves mapping everything out, keeping an eye on the limits of Dreams, and making sure that enough detail is put into every aspect of this project. Just looking at this, there's a complete wider scope on things. Every space looks much bigger than before. Noticeable objects from the original, such as the barrels, are placed exactly where they were in the first game. The skybox even gives off a very humid, swampy feel to the island, which I feel really suits the village. It also feels like it's close to after sunrise. There's this cozy morning feel, Like you just want to step outside, sip on some warm tea in the morning, you know, enjoy the view. That's the kind of setting, vacation type of beach thing I'm feeling right now, just looking at this. It's so pretty. Now if you think about it, the whole place is, after all, surrounded by water, so the whole cozy, humid setting really suits this place. Now the major differences here are the windows and the roofs given to the small houses. The brick walls, I've noticed, they're more like standing out this time. The grass even looks taller in some areas. I mean, do they really hire someone to mow their lawn? I mean, on an island secluded by water especially? Well, I mean, thinking about it, they probably use a scythe to, you know, cut grass. Well, then again, Kira built a zoomer in the middle of an isolated island. If Kira can design a zoomer, she can easily come up with a lawnmower. The point is, I really love the addition of taller grass given to some areas. I mean, if you really think about it, the place is swampy, of course the grass is gonna grow. Now what's also cool about this fan recreation are those newly added little tropical plants you see on the sides, with what seems to look like fireflies. I mean, remaking the Precursor Legacy, I'd imagine having this extent of detail. Next-gen console? Just imagine Jak and Daxter being remade on the PlayStation 5. I could imagine this new lighting setting, new shadows everywhere. Like, it's gonna look pretty if it ever comes to fruition. Now, Sentinel Beach, of course, isn't included, but it does give you that feeling of, wow, what if Sentinel Beach was included? Like, just looking at this, it's all pretty. There's the farmer and yak house section of Sandover. I mean, the yak house are absent, but the whole layout, the section itself, it's present, and it looks more sunny compared to the original. Well, the original did look sunny after all. There was like a night and day system, but what I'm referring to is the new lighting setup given, the whole sunshine, especially in some particular areas. Imagine Jak and Daxter brought back on the PlayStation 5 using global illumination or ray tracing. An example of the terms I used right now is Rift Apart. Look at how everything is reflective, how light bounces off every single object. Looking at this on Dreams, how the light rays are placed around, this gives you an idea of what a potential remake could look like. I don't mean to get your hopes up, but hey, I'm just imagining things in my head, okay? Paying more close attention to this recreation, the lava section which takes you to Rock Village is actually present, to some extent. There's some added shadows which is pretty evident. It gives it more of a realistic setting, you know. Actual rocks hiding the sun and causing actual shadows, you know, like in real life. This section in particular really makes it seem like the sun is rising, simply by how the corridor is lit. Alas, every time I see a fan recreation of a game which I wish would get a remake treatment, I just get this warm, cozy feel. You just can't help but feel amazed. If you're wondering if this is public in Dreams, yes it is. I got the permission to share Dazza's username. The name will be put on screen, Daz2009 Holly. Thanks again Dazza for letting me showcase this to fellow viewers on here. This is quite an awesome surprise I found on Twitter, and knowing me, I naturally get excited and I want more people to see it. So yeah, thank you again. So with that being said folks, this is it for the video. If you have questions or anything of such sort, leave it all in the comments section below. And as always, I've been VTNVIVI and thank you so much for watching.